Once upon a time, there was a young girl named Sarah who lived in a small town. Sarah loved her community and was always eager to help out wherever she could. One day, as she was walking home from school, she stumbled and fell, scraping her knee badly. She tried to stand up but found it too painful. That's when a kind stranger appeared, offering to help her up and clean her wound. The stranger, whose name was Mrs. Johnson, walked Sarah home and made sure she was okay before leaving. Sarah was grateful for Mrs. Johnson's help and wanted to repay her kindness. She asked her mum if they could do something for Mrs. Johnson, and her mum suggested they bake her some cookies. Sarah loved the idea and spent the next few hours helping her mum bake a fresh batch of cookies. The next day, Sarah and her mum went to Mrs. Johnson's house with the cookies. Mrs. Johnson was surprised and touched by the thoughtful gesture. She thanked Sarah and her mum and told them that she had been feeling lonely lately and that their visit had made her day. From that day on, Sarah and her family made it a habit to check on Mrs. Johnson regularly. They invited her over for dinner and even took her on outings to the park and the local museum. Mrs. Johnson was no longer lonely, and Sarah felt happy knowing that she had made a difference in someone's life. Years went by, and Sarah grew up to be a kind and compassionate person, always eager to help out in her community. She never forgot the gift of giving that Mrs. Johnson had taught her, and she made sure to pass it on to others.